What's up, Knicks Nation? We got some things to talk about. So there are 5 more things the Knicks have to do in order to complete this off season, right? Also, we'll talk about the roommates pod. They finally gave a response to the whole Mike Brown hire. We'll also talk about Summer League. Summer League was pretty interesting. Summer League was all right, right? Also, Suni and OG. We're going to get down to the bottom as to what's going on with Suni and OG. Of course, we got, no smoke of the week this week, but we do got comment of the week, word on the street, and much more on this week inside the Knicks. Welcome, Knicks Nation. I am your host, Ron Pierre, the Objective Fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest, and you know the vibes, y'all. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully my sound is good. Might check 1 2 1 2. Not seeing levels for it, but everything else looks good. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. I want to give a big time salute to Crim's dad. Also, a big time salute to Keith. Now we only have 4 critical things. Wait, so which one did we do? Did we do something while we were live? Crim's dad, let me know. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I think the sound should be good. Let me just check it myself. Okay, yeah, we good. So how you guys feeling today? Dog days of summer. Dog days of summer indeed. But before we begin, there's some things I would like to share with you guys. We did a birthday call-up show. My birthday was Friday. Salute to me. We did the show on Thursday, and we ringing my birthday together. We went from Thursday to Friday. I want to give a big time salute to everybody that was on the show with me. It was a great time. If you missed it, it was a marathon call-up show, but it definitely was a call-up show to remember. So go check that call-up show out. I had a great birthday. Great time celebrating with you guys. I do appreciate it. As I enter into a new threshold in life, 40 years old. Tomorrow I will be hooping, so be on the lookout for that. I will be hooping in Yonkers, so I should be hooping around 1 o'clock. And of course, this is for my channel members. Definitely be on the lookout for that. What else I want to announce? Like I said, call-up show will be back on Friday. Last week, it was a special one-off, right? Because my birthday was Friday. The call-up show will be back Friday at 10:45, right? So Keith Swagger says his sleep schedule ain't right. It's all good, man. Listen, man, I understand. My sleep schedule is all jacked up, too. I went to bed around 4 last night. So, yeah, trust me, I understand. So that's why sometimes you guys see me coming on a little bit late. I'll be waking up at 11 o'clock on Mondays. Yeah, I'm not an early Monday riser. But I think that's all for the announcements. I'm going to jump right into it. If you don't know, this podcast is also related to a blog called This Week Inside the Knicks, right? And so let me take you guys to where we're going to be reading from. So all of the information, the sources, the things that we will discuss on this podcast, you can find it here. I'm going to pull it up in 2 seconds. So when you go to thisweekinsidetheknicks.com, there's 2 ways to get to it. You click on the 2025 off season, bam, and you'll see this is episode 7. By the way, this is episode 7, right, of the off season 2025. And we'll be talking about all the hot topics between July 14th to the 20th. So you just click on this. And whatever I don't cover, you'll be able to see all the news here. Now, this blog is kind of like a weekly digest where you get to see everything that happened for the week, all of the major news items, right, that took place. So every Monday, this podcast is associated with this blog. So all you have to do is get here. Oh, but hold on. Before I begin, hold up. Did not do my ladies a service. The reason why I got on the Liberty hat, I do want to give a big time to Natasha Cloud, Sabrina Ionescu. You know, they won the skills championship and the 3-point contest on Friday night. That was lit. Give a big time. That's why I'm rocking the Liberty hat today. I'm rocking with the ladies. Also, the ladies will be getting their full squad back. Donkrell Jones should be back. They were saying that after the break, she'll come back. So that's the finals MVP, if you don't know. So I'm looking for the Liberty to go back to their dominating ways. So yeah, I have to give the girls a salute. I almost forgot, but let me keep it pushing forward. So back to the blog. So we're on episode 7. So we do got a special highlight, not just the Liberty, but Carmelo Anthony. I'm gonna give a big time salute to Melo. Oh, I logged in. Hold on, 2 seconds, y'all. I'm gonna give a big time salute to Carmelo Anthony because he was voted by The Athletic as the best college basketball player of the 2000s. That's fire. Let me see if I could. Only problem is I don't know my login. Hold on. But I'm going to show you guys the list because kind of interesting. Let me see if I can log in. Wow. Hopefully this is the right account. Not. Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll read off some of the names that was on the list because I got it here on my other browser. You guys are not going to be able to see it. But I just want to show you some of the names he beat out. And of course, this was the best player of the 2000s, right? So let's see. And I honestly thought that his freshman run was very impressive because how many freshmen went to college and won the championship? Straight like that as a rookie. Not too many top players done it. Of course, players done it. Luther, Jilo, Okafor, I always gotta represent for the Duke Blue Devils, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not getting this article. I just wanted to show y'all some of the names that was up there. I know Cooper Flag and them was 25. Okay, I got it here. So Zion, Cooper Flag, they were tied for 25th. Nick Collison, Michael Beasley. Who could forget Michael Beasley was a beast in college. JJ Redick, right? Let me scroll up. Some of the names that Carmelo beat out. I'm sorry I can't show you this on the screen, but I'll just read it out. So look, so he was number 1. Jalen Brunson was number 2. I wanted to show you that. Salute the captain for making number 2 on the list. Captain was number 2. He was average 14 points per game, 3.7 assists. He was a 2-time champion. So Jalen Brunson's number 2 on the list. I wanted to show y'all that. No problem. Steph Curry was number 3. Anthony Davis, number 4. Anthony Davis was a beast in college. Kemba Walker, number 5. Jameer Nelson, number 6. So these are some of the names that got beat out. But Brunson was listed number 2 on the list. Luther Brunson. Shane Battier, number 7. Let's see who else. KD was number 10. Wow. Some of these names here, man. Jay Williams was number 19. Salute to the Duke Blue Devils. But sorry I couldn't read the list for you. Sorry I couldn't show the list because for whatever reason I'm not logged in. But those were some of the names that was on the list that Melo beat out, and Brunson was number 2. So Captain was on the list too. I wanted to surprise y'all with that. Let me keep it moving. Get up out of there. Okay, cool. That's my special highlight. Salute to Melo and Brunson for being 1 and 2 on the best college basketball players of the 2000s. That's all the highlights I got for this week. I'm going to talk about Summer League pretty briefly. Now, I'm going to read some of these articles and then I'll fill in the gaps for what's not here, right? But Kevin McCullough Jr., to me, was the most impressive out of all of the guys, even though he only played 2 games. I love the way he got at it. I love his aggressiveness. I love his ability to score. I didn't realize he was averaging 18 in college, right? So definitely salute to Kevin McCullough Jr. for doing his thing here. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. 1 second. Let me just try this. Okay. My chat is frozen. But no worries. I'm gonna put the chat. I'm gonna open up the chat on my phone. But Kevin McCullough Jr. to me was the most impressive out of all of the young talented rookies because he had the most complete bag. He could defend at a high level, right? I think he had one game he had like 8 fouls, something crazy like that. Let me pull up this chat. And I thought that he was amazing. As far as his quote, he says, "This is really my real rookie season." McCullough says Sunday after pouring in 30 points in the loss to the Celtics. Last year, I got to be able to be on my feet a little bit. I love playing. I missed it for so long. Now it's pretty much my rookie season. I'm going to talk about McCullough Jr. a little bit later when we talk about the 5 things the Knicks have to do. He's definitely on that list, but he has an interesting twist that hopefully the Knicks can make it happen because I would love to see him in the Knicks uniform somehow, some way. Let me keep it pushing. Okay. So one of the guys I was looking forward to seeing was Joku. No, how you say his name? Rokas Joku Batias. I just call him Joku. Anyway, so Knicks had a busy offseason, but they didn't contact Roku, right? Or Joku. And he was ruled out for this summer league showing. Okay. Now, to be honest, I wouldn't have mind seeing him again, especially because the Knicks didn't really have any other like guards there, right? Dink Pate. I always call him Pat because I think he's French. I'm pronouncing Pate like it's a French name, but he played a lot of the point guard too. But I thought that he could have came and got another look from the Knicks. I guess this might be the Knicks cutting ties with Joku. I don't know. We'll keep an eye out on that, but he didn't get the call. Let's keep it pushing. We did have some summer league injuries, right? So, Home Dadier, right? They got an update on his injury, right? It just was a big toe. Nothing major. No structural damage. So just out of precaution, they didn't play him again. I thought that out of all of the rookies from last year, I thought that he should have probably got more looks because he's the first pick in the draft. And I just feel like he's the only first round pick that we drafted that's on the summer league team. So I just wanted to see more from him, right? I thought that he had a better, even though he shot efficiently from game 1, the first game he played, I actually liked the second game a little better because I thought that he was a little bit more aggressive. Sometimes, guys, especially younger guys, you're young, you're a rookie, you're kind of passive, right? So I liked how he showed a little bit more aggression. You're the first pick in the draft. You should be the top priority on the floor. Of course, this kid right here, Diarra, this kid right here showed me a lot. I honestly, I'm going to say this, and I know it's summer league, but I would consider offering him the rookie minimum. Now, this is, of course, if I can't get another rookie, because I have my eyes on some other rookies. Remember, these are my picks. I'm not saying what Leon Rose is going to do. But if we couldn't get one of those other guys, I would sign this kid to that rookie minimum. And because you got other guys on the team, and like we'll talk about in a second, that probably should be on the team. It's just that there's not enough space. I would give those guys 2 ways. And if I can't get a better rookie minimum, I would sign this kid. He has all the tools there. He's definitely made a name for himself. So I've been really impressed with Muhammad. This is Jordan Brick, by the way. He says, I've been really impressed with Muhammad. Nick Summer League coach said his ability to run, push off misses, and makes. I thought he really was solid. In Sunday's loss to the Celtics, pretty active defensively. I love that. Still learning the defensive system and low man principles. I like the fact that he was getting steals. You know what I like too? Anytime you can diversify yourself, right? Anytime you can diversify yourself and do things differently on the floor. He was the only big man that off rebounds was making plays off the rebound in transition, and not just for himself. He was also making plays for others. So this kid Diawara, he really impressed me. I like that he played defense. I like the first time I saw him, this was in the first game, he had like 7 rebounds. I was like, damn, that kid was a hustler. All the playmaking stuff I didn't really notice until the other games. So yeah, I think Diawara definitely deserves a spot on this team. We'll talk more about that in a second. As far as Tyler Kolek, a lot of you guys in the chats all across the world was getting on Tyler Kolek, right? And salute to Tyler Kolek for handling business, and he had a really good game, right? I think this was the game that we won against the Brooklyn Nets. He had 14 points, 2 assists, 3 steals, all in the first 10 minutes of the game, right? So salute to Tyler Kolek for showing out. Guys was talking about he couldn't play point guard. And it's funny that he had this performance because this was the day after. Salute to Still Knicks fans. I peeked in the chat. I see you there. This is literally the day after the Still Knicks fan show where I was interviewed, or I was collabing with Ron on that show. And Ron, he played a clip with Tyler Kolek going crazy. And literally the next day, he does what he does here. I think that Summer League will always be a tough position for players like Tyler Kolek. Oh, like I'm gonna use myself as an example. Salute to all of the members. By the way, if you are watching the show, you just joined. This is This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 7, July 14th to the 20th. Those are the topics we'll be talking about. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hit the like button so more cool Knicks fans could check out this video. And also, if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. But like when I hoop, right, I'm a system kind of guy. I'm not necessarily the one-on-one ISO dude, right? So that's why I like playing with my team. And to all of the members that watch the basketball, the Objective Fan Hoops videos, when I go to Brooklyn, you're going to see a difference in the way I play because those guys who I play with in Brooklyn, we have a system. So sometimes you're a system kind of guy. You're not just a one-on-one assassin. And I think that's what Kolek is. He's somebody who needs to play within the flow of a system, right? It's hard to develop a flow in a system in Summer League unless you're the Hornets, who, by the way, when I was in Charlotte, I was in Charlotte, but I was in North Carolina, and I happened to watch their news, right? Do you know that, and because they won the championship, but they were making a push to actually win the Summer League championship. And in my head, I'm like, people really tried to win Summer League championships? And lo and behold, they won the championship. But besides that team, they're the only team that was going that hard because they had their full roster, right? They had a press conference. When did you see the Knicks press conference for Summer League? So, yeah, but Kolek, he's somebody that needed time. And I'm glad that he was able to show out and keep some of you guys off his back. I mean, guys were saying he's not an NBA point guard and all this nonsense. Please stop, right? Summer League, right? But Marchon Beauchamp, this guy right here, in my opinion, he definitely made a believer out of me. The problem only for me is that on my team, and you guys will see it in a second, I don't know if he makes my roster. Not because he's not good. I loved his shooting. I think he answered a lot of the shooting questions because that was always a knock on his resume. Also, the same thing with that Chuma Okeke kid, Chuma Okeke. Shooting is a big deal in this league. Even if you're a defensive player, guys, they prefer that you be a 3-and-D kind of player. And I love that. I think it was the fourth quarter or the second half of game 3 is where he just completely changed the dial. I don't know if it was a conversation with the coach. I don't know if it was a conversation with his mans in them, but he was a different player. He was knocking down every shot. I mean, just playing with pure confidence, right? So I think that if he can shoot like that, he deserves to be on the team. I just don't know if it's going to be our team. I just don't know if it's going to be our team. And to be honest, like the points, I don't really care about. I care about the efficiency, right? I don't care about what you score. I care about how you play the game. In Summer League, he's a 4-year player. This is his 4th Summer League. He should have been cooking. He shouldn't even be in the Summer League. So that's why it's like for him, it's kind of hard to, give him all the praise. But I'm not here to knock him. Not here to knock him. Let's see. Is that all for the Summer League stuff? And then 4 takeaways here. If you want to read this is a good article here. This is on SNY by Raphael Canton. You can check it out. I'm just going to scroll down to the roster conundrum. So in putting together the team, let's understand that we have 3 two-way spots, 3 regular roster spots, but realistically we only have money for 2 roster spots. And the NBA rule is that you need to have 14 guys minimum. So basically 3 two-way contracts, 2 regular contracts, but only one of those contracts will be a rookie minimum. The other one would be a veteran minimum. So you could sign a guy like how Marcus Smart signed with the Lakers. We could get another guy like that. I think we'll talk about a little bit about free agency in a second. But as far as Summer League guys making the team, here is the problem. So last year we had McCullough, Watson, Marchand, Beecham, right? I like this kid Watson. He had a good game. Let me see if I can pull it up. He had a good game, good shooting game. Yeah, this was against the Wizards. He shot 8 of 13 from the field, 5 of 8 from three-point line. But really, what really impressed me was his rebounding. 6 rebounds. I love that. You got to do more as a forward in the game. It can't just be offense. You got to defend. I thought his defense was decent. I'm not going to say he was a world beater defender, but he also had 3 assists as well. So Anton Watson is a kid that, honestly, if I had bare minimum, I would probably give him a 2-way spot. But those are the last year 2-way guys. Do remember, right? You got, I'll go right here. So look at all the guys you have on this team besides Kolek and Pacome Dadier, right? Look at all of the guys, potential guys that you can sign the 2-way contracts. You got Think Paid, right? You got Diarra, Beecham, Nanji. What do you do with Nanji? Anton Watson. It's a lot going on here, guys. It's a lot going on here. So if I'm putting together the team, I would pray that Kevin McCullough Jr. accepts a 2-way contract. Because honestly, he's good enough to get a rookie minimum from any other team, which could happen. There's teams that could sign Kevin McCullough Jr. right now to a rookie minimum. While you're trying to get him on a 2-way, right? There's a team that can come and snatch him up. I'm sorry, confusion. He's not a rookie. That's the confusion. People think he's a rookie. He's not a rookie. So in order to sign Kevin McCullough Jr., he would get a veteran minimum, even though it would be just a 1-year veteran minimum, right? It's not a rookie minimum, meaning, here's the thing. So we have, I'd rather show you guys so you guys can see the visuals. We only have $3.7 million to sign 2 players. The rookie minimum is 1.2. The veteran minimum is 2.2. That's usually what the cap hit is. So Kevin McCullough Jr., his minimum, the 1-year minimum would be 1.7 or 1.6. 1.7, 1.6 prevents you from signing another veteran. Does that make sense? So do you waste your veteran on Kevin McCullough when you could sign another guy that you may want, a Brogdon, right? Somebody like that. We might look at some more free agent targets. But that's the quagmire there. So the goal for the Knicks would be to convince Kevin McCullough Jr. to sign for a two-way and pray that another team doesn't come, because if we sign Kevin McCullough Jr., because we could match it, or we could just sign him to a regular contract, but he prevents you from getting another veteran. I'm not sure if Kevin McCullough is that highly valued by you, but it's something to think about, right? It is a quagmire. To add to the fact that you have all of these guys, what do you do with Dink Pate? I would give him a two-way contract. They said on the call-up show he got the two-way deal. I didn't see that nowhere. So until I see an official report on that, and he's also not listed on the Knicks Sports Track, which we were just looking at, they have 3 spots available. But I'm giving Dink Pate for sure, one of them, right? I really like the Anton Watson kid. I really like him. But if I can't get another rookie, right? And I'm going to talk more about the other rookies that I would love to sign for the rookie minimum, but I would put Diarra as my rookie minimum, right? My rookie minimum. This is if I can't get anyone better. Leaving me 2 more two-way spots. You could say Beecham, right? And you could say Watson, but what do you do with Nanji? Does he go back to his country? What if you are able to get a better rookie minimum, and now you want to give Diarra a two-way deal? What do you do with Beecham or Anton Watson? Now that becomes a choice between those 2 guys. So it's an interesting situation on the Summer League. Let me look into the chat, see where you guys are. By the way, this is This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 7. We're covering all the hot topics between the 14th to the 20th. Let me see what you guys talking about. Salute to you, Darlene Bryan. I see you in the chat. Much love to you. Salute to Miguel P. Salute to Size 9. He says, I want Clarkson and Yabu Sali gone. All the pieces we didn't draft, and let's start building our own picks. Size 9, you are wilding. That will never happen. I don't know. What's up with you with that, Size 9? No. We are a contending team, okay? So we're trying to win a championship. We're not trying to build talent solely. Right, we're trying to do. Of course, we're going to have young talent there. That's why you have a G League system and you have two-way contracts. We don't need him. His position is filled with younger, better talent. I'm trying to think who you're talking about, Coach. You talking about Anton Watson? I'm pretty sure players signed to two-way spots can't be. No. Listen, no, Miguel. Listen to the logic. Listen to the logic, Miguel. Because it's complicated. It's more complicated than you think. Oh, just sign him to a two-way contract. The problem is, if Kevin McCullough Jr. feels like his value is more than the two-way, and he's saying, I want to be signed to a 1 year or to a veteran, a 1 year veteran minimum, right? Now another team could sign him for that, and you can't match him, especially if you're trying to get a veteran free agent. Does that make sense, Miguel P? So if you're trying to get a Brogdon, the other guy who I will not name, who's 6'10", who's a power forward point guard, if you want to sign him, if you want to sign another buyout, somebody else's get bought out, you will not be able to sign those guys if you sign Kevin McCullough Jr. Of course, you could make a trade to free up space. That could always happen. I'm just giving you where we are right now, not where we want to be, so to speak. I'm giving to you where we are right now. All right, this is where we are right now. We have 3.7 right now, and we have to sign 2 more players. So that's the Kevin McCullough quagmire, right? Because you could easily sign Kevin McCullough to the vet minimum, the 1 year vet minimum, and Diarra to the 1 year rookie. And that way you'll have as many two-way spots to bring in who you want. But, we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. I'm going to move forward. I don't want to spend too much time on Summer League. I'm going to talk about some hot topics for the week. Once again, salute to Carmelo Anthony. And salute to Jalen Brunson for being rewarded as the top college hoopers for the 2000s. You know what? I'm going to show you guys something. So I'm going to show you guys something. I'm back now, starting today. I'm getting back at it. I posted a new hat on the blog. This might be my next hat purchase, but this is the Nick hat of the day, y'all. This hat right here is fire to me. Right? This is the hardwood golfer. I'm sorry, the hardwood golfer Knicks classic hat. This hat is fire, bro. This is a powerful popping summer hat. Go check it out now. All you gotta do is click on Cool Knicks hat on the blog, the same blog we're on, thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. You click on Cool Knicks hats, you'll see this hat pop up, top of the list. Also, the link to this hat is in the description of this video. Go check this out. And also, going forward now, because I'm getting ready to go from beta phase in the blog to alpha phase, which is going to be a full-time blog where I'm going to be blogging heavy every day. But starting now, I'm going to start posting a lot of merchandise that I like, that's fire, that stuff that I bought or stuff that I'm going to buy. You will be able to find it here. So if you're interested in this hat, right, or any of the hats that's on my shelf behind me, all you got to do is click on Cool Knicks hats. Go to thisweekinsidetheknicks.com, click on Cool Knicks hats. Some of the hats are discounted, right? Some of the hats are, you know, regular price, but the hats are fire. So definitely be on the lookout for this more. Now I'm going to jump into some of the smoking hot topics. Right? Jump into some of the smoking hot topics. Let's see. Get back. So once again, like, if you want to look for the blog that we're looking at, all you got to do is you can click on 2025 offseason at the top. Click on episode 7. Bam, you'll see all the links I'm talking about. Just in case you might have missed some news. It's a lot. Even though this is a light week, it's still a lot of news here. And once again, I will not be going through all of this stuff, but some interesting stuff here. Now, I want to highlight this because we talked about this on the call-up show. I think this was on the Marathon call-up show, which was the birthday show. My birthday was on Friday. We did a call-up show on Thursday, and it was a good time. And so I think we talked about this on here about Brunson and his role change, right? Or that might have been on Still Knicks Fans. Either way, I talked about it, and I want to spend some time talking about it right now. Right. So a lot of people feel like Jalen Brunson dribble. He dribbles. And I was actually a part of the Brunson dribble committee because I felt like Brunson is efficient. Right. He's not a selfish player. He was top 10 in scoring and top 10 in assists. Right. He has one of the better assist to turnover ratios, especially for the top assist guys in the league. He wasn't turning over the ball a lot, and he's shooting very efficiently. So I didn't see a problem with Brunson having the ball in his hands. Right. And salute to me keeping my notes on deck. Right. Do I have it here? No, I don't have that. Hold on. I do. I think that Knicks record when Brunson had 30 or more assists, I think it was 20. No, it was 15 and 7. I think that was their record when Brunson had 30 or more points. Right. And when he had 9 or more assists, the Knicks record was 15 and 6. So there's value in Brunson scoring the ball, having the ball in his hand. There's also value in the Knicks moving the ball, right? So when the Knicks move the ball, we know that the offense is flowing, and we know that Mike Brown is an offensive coach. So I don't have no problem with that. However, I don't think that Brunson, right, will score less. I don't foresee that happening. And the reason why I say that is because, let me pull this up really quickly. When you look at what De'Aaron Fox was able to do under Mike Brown, remember, there's more possessions too in the Mike Brown system, right? So, pull it up. So this is what De'Aaron Fox was able to do under Mike Brown in Sacramento, okay? Right? So, he had, let me just fact check myself. Sacramento, okay. So when he was in Sacramento last year, he played 45 games before he was traded. And this was mostly under Mike Brown. He was averaging 25 and 6. The year before that, he averaged 26 and just under 6, 25 and 6, right? Now, granted, Fox plays fast. He's a beep kind of fast dude, but he's not as efficient as Brunson. He's not the shooter that Brunson is. He's not the crafty mid-range scorer that Brunson is, right? So I think Brunson's game, honestly, will be improved in a Mike Brown system. And depending on who the two guard is, I wouldn't be surprised if Brunson doesn't average a double-double, right? I wouldn't be surprised at that. But look, so here's some of the chances they're talking about. Brunson will still be the center of the Knicks solar system, right? Even though I consider the Knicks a binary star system, right? And when we talk about, and of course in astrophysics, a binary star system is a solar system that has two stars. But not every solar system that has two stars have all the planets going around the two stars. Some solar systems, you have a star orbiting a star along with the other planets. So I think that's kind of what the Knicks system is. Brunson still will be the center of the solar system, so to speak. Everything revolves around him, but the isolation attempts should come down, right? And this is a chart here. You can check this out. This is a good read if you want to. I'm not going to go into all of the particulars, but to all the people that think that less Brunson dribbles, which you might see under Mike Brown, it doesn't necessarily equate to less points, but I do think it could equate to more assists, depending on who the two guard is. Now, if you got a two guard that gets a lot of assists, then Brunson's assists could possibly go down because you can see Fox was giving you 26 and 5, and Fox was not shooting as efficiently as Jalen Brunson. Let me move forward. So that's the role shift from Brunson. Of course, the Knicks I didn't talk about this last week, but this guy here, the Knicks hired, he's an assistant coach, right? And he's a developmental coach, right? So, hold on, this is a quote I wanted to read. But his name is Ricardo Fios or Fos. Sorry, I'm not good international language, but where's the quote I want? Okay, so outside of coaching in Sacramento, he was Mike Brown's assistant coach in Sacramento. He's coached at the University of Arizona as well as the Phoenix Suns, where he coached Bridges, right? This was a big deal. I think Ron talked about this last week on Still Knick Fans Pod. But he helped Bridges develop, right? He impacted Mikal Bridges' game. So the goal here is for him to continue to help Mikal Bridges in his development, right? But also to work with some of the young guys we were talking about during Summer League, right? If he can help develop a Pacome Dadier, right? If he can help develop a Tyler Kolek, right? Some of the younger guys that we want to have impacts in this system, right? Or Kevin McCullough Jr., another guy, right? So salute to the Knicks for hiring this guy. That's his specialty. That will be his role on this team. So I'm curious to see how he shapes the young core. I mean, I do think we got some really good second round picks at the tail end of the draft last year. I mean, I don't think it's normal to get Ariel and a McCullough Jr. in the 50th picks in the draft. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's kind of interesting that they were able to snag those two guys, right? Ariel was a guy who became a backup center at one point last year during the season, right? Kevin McCullough Jr., he's been turning heads during Summer League. We have a lot of high hopes for him. So it'll be interesting to see what this guy, Fios, what he's able to bring to the table. And, hey, you never know. In the Mike Brown system, anything can go. He plays more guys than Tibbs. That's one that we do know. So there may be an opportunity for one of the. Now, I don't think all of the younger guys are going to get time like some of you guys continue to say, but there may be an opportunity for some of the young guys to get minutes and opportunity, right? So let's continue. So, of course, Darvin Ham was shut down, right? This would have been a lateral hire if the Knicks were able to snag him from the Milwaukee Bucks. Darvin Ham's currently the assistant coach there, and the Bucks shut it down. The Knicks tried to ask for permission to speak to him. Bucks said, heck no, get out of here, because it's a lateral move. Now, if they was trying to interview Darvin Ham for the head coaching job of the Knicks, then yeah, most of the time teams grant assistant coaches those opportunities because it's an opportunity for advancement, and you don't want to be the guy to hold guys back. Right? I'm gonna do a video on this too. The financial implications of Mitchell Robinson and Mikal Bridges. The video I want to do is on the second apron. They definitely impact our second apron status next year. I'm just going to tell you guys, next year the Knicks will be a second apron team. And that has a lot of implications on this season. When I talk about hot seats and Leon Rose, my personal hot seat, not Dolan's. When I talk about finals or bust, it's all tied into this. But right now, you already know what Leon Rose's style is. Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson, going into a season with no extension, likely will be traded. Leon Rose doesn't go into a season typically without signing key guys that have extensions on the table. So this is a big time decision. Even if they decide to trade those guys, the Knicks will be a second apron team. So I'm just trying to figure out if I'm going to do a live or I don't know, but I'm going to do a show on the aprons for sure. Guaranteed, 100%. 100%. But that's the quagmire though, coming into the season. See what happens. See what happens with Mitch and Mikal Bridges. As far as Josh Hart, he underwent a procedure on his finger, right? And basically he showed it on the Roommates pod. His finger looked kind of crazy, and he had to have surgery to correct it. So during the Pacers series, a lot of you guys got on Josh Hart and said that Josh Hart, didn't perform well. But we don't like to make excuses, but a viable excuse for Josh Hart could have been that his finger wasn't right. That affects your shooting. That affects everything. Ball handling. So he got the surgery, and he should be able to resume basketball activities this summer, right? Later this summer, right? So he's not going to miss a lot of time. It's not a big-time surgery. I don't think none of the guys' surgery, Towns, he had surgery on his knee and his finger. Who else had surgery? All the guys that have procedures, they're not going to miss no time. They'll be able to work out late summer. And I think that was always the goal, right? So salute to Josh Hart for getting that taken care of for sure, 100%. And to touch on the Roommates podcast side of things, because I do got that on the list. The Roommates podcast, they spoke on the Mike Brown hiring. You got some notes. Hopefully it's right here. So I kind of like how the Roommates podcast, I'm not sure if you guys watch it. I like how they do their thing, right? They're not really seasoned in the podcast space, right? See, I build anticipation on my show. So I'm not going to just start out with the flagship topic because I know a lot of you guys are here for the flagship topic. But they, at the beginning of their pod, they just the first take is Mike Brown. They just got to it. And so if you didn't see that episode, you could watch it. It's in the beginning where they talked about Mike Brown. Now, on the call-up show, we talked about this, the birthday show. And I just want to kind of reiterate a couple of things that might have been mentioned on that show or might not have been mentioned on that. That show was great. If you didn't watch the birthday call-up show, guys, definitely go watch the birthday call-up show. I was turned up. I was taking some shots. It was a birthday celebration. Had some smoke in the chat. I mean, it's a long show, but it's very interesting. So Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, both of those guys said that they were excited to play for Mike Brown. Now, of course, I know that out of all the guys that were on the team, these guys were definitely Coach Tibbs guys. They love Coach Tibbs. Right, Jalen Brunson said, "I believe in Coach Tibbs" during the last interview, right, after the loss to the Pacers, and I believe he was genuine in saying that. Even though there's some things that look kind of a little funny, not really putting it on Josh, but I will say this: Jalen Brunson said approximately 3 or 4 times. He kept saying he was excited to play for Mike Brown. And I'm listening to it and I'm like, not that he's going to be like, oh, I want Coach Tibbs back. No, he's a professional, right? This is the business of basketball. But at the same time, it made me think, because, I'm objective. So I try to see it from all the sides. But it made me think that, did Jalen Brunson sign off on Tibbs getting fired? I don't know if he did. But we didn't get no names. We know that players said they don't know if they could play for Tibbs next season. They didn't like the minutes. They didn't like the fact that he didn't use his bench. They thought he was so stubborn. He didn't listen to nobody. And we know that the players said that. It was reported. We just don't know who said it. Could have been possible that Brunson was one of those guys. Because I did note on the Roommates pod, I'm excited to play for Mike Brown. And then Josh Hart revealed that, Mike Brown called him up. And, they had a conversation, not about basketball, right? And he's just trying to get to know the guy. So off the rip, based off of them saying that, it looks like Mike Brown, what they're saying about him is true, that he is somebody that likes to talk to guys, right? That he is somebody who is better at talking to, the players than Tibbs is. So we'll see. But Tibbs had a relationship with these two guys too. He was on their podcast. He called them up. How many episodes we seen of the podcast where Tibbs will call those guys, right? I remember on the James Dolan episode, right? And go watch that James Dolan episode if you didn't watch it. I think it's a really revealing episode, right? And it kind of like really plays into what a lot of the things we're seeing now. But on that episode, Dolan pranked Tibbs because Tibbs called Brunson and Dolan answered, "Hello, I am Jalen Brunson's assistant." So, maybe those are just Tibbs' favorite guys. I don't know. But it just made me wonder. Maybe Brunson is happy because now he feels like he has a coach that can really unlock certain aspects of his game that Tibbs wasn't getting him to. I don't know. But I'm not going to say that he put it on Tibbs, but it was an interesting little segment. Definitely go check it out. That was the last episode they did when they talked about Mike Brown. I'm trying to think if there's anything else of note. No, that's really it. Because they're not going to give up much, right? At the end of the day, they're professionals. They're not going to give up much. So, yeah, let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. A little bit, read a couple of joints, and I keep it moving. Darlene says she watched the show. What did you think about it, Darlene? Size 9, oh my God. HRM says the birthday show was fire. Salute to HRM the great man. I appreciate your support, HRM. I know if you don't watch it live, you definitely always catch the replay. Yeah, it was lit. Honestly, the birthday show is the first show I didn't listen back to. I didn't check it. I listen to every show over after I do it. I didn't even listen to the birthday show, so I still got to go back and listen to the birthday show. But thank you to all the people that listened to it. Salute the coach in the building. Yes, Crim's dad is a quagmire. And once again, salute to Still Nick fans. I saw you in the building. Go check out Still Nick Fans Weekly tonight. I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing the show tonight at 9. Hit him up says Knicks would have re-signed Shamet. He's an option. I'm going to talk about Shamet in a second. There's a little bit of free agent stuff I want to get to, not too much. But before I continue, I do want to show you guys the shop. shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. Now, the merch I got here, right? I got a couple of items on the shelf, actually. Bam, I got the 2 mugs right there. See the mugs? I'm going to show you the mugs on the shop. So on the shop, when you go to shop.thisweekinsidethenix.com, you see we got the Bodega Cat line and the Captain 11 line. Before the summer's out, I probably will release another line. I got another concept that's fire. For me, my concepts take a little time because I like to make sure my designs are lit. I don't like to come out with designs that's weak, right? I need my designs to stand out. So when people see me with the Bodega Cat shirt on, they be like, yo, what's that? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, this is, my little design. And then I send them the link to the website. So this is the Bodega Cat mug. The mugs are the best sellers. If you hadn't got yourself a mug yet, go get yourself a mug. This is the bestseller of all bestsellers right here, the Captain 11 mug with the New York City skyline on the inside. Definitely go check these mugs out this week inside the Knicks.com. And, we also got t-shirts as well. We got them in white, right? We got them in. I love the Bodega Cat Black, though. This is my favorite joint. This joint right here. But go check it out now. Shop that this week inside the Knicks.com. All right. So let me close some. I got too many tabs open. Close these tabs to the right. And let's keep it moving, man. So I talked about Josh Hart. I'm going to talk about Suni Lee. And then we'll jump into, let's see the time. Yeah, we jump into free agency and then flagship. So flagship, within the next 5 to 10 minutes, we'll get the flagship. No worries. I know you guys been waiting for it. We'll get to it, okay? So I want to talk about the Suni Lee OG Anunoby thing. I mean, this thing was always a thing. Let me just make sure we hit all our topics. Okay. So this Suni Lee OG Anunoby thing is annoying to me because they were trying to hype this up like there was something here. She was impacting OG Anunoby's play. And this was a whole narrative the whole last year. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but I just had to see it. Like this, damn, and what's the boy that the actor, the young boy that's the actor that was also in the Garden all the time? Can't remember the guy's name. He's a big time actor, young boy. He goes to all the Knicks games. If you got his name, put it in the chat. That guy there, I'm mad I can't remember his name. And in this story here, we're like the number 2 fan stories all year. And of course, Ben Still is always in the mix. I'm not talking about Ben Still. I'm talking about the young boy. He started some big pictures, and he's like the new super Knicks fan. And it just made me kind of like this whole narrative OG definitely kind of made me sick because I'm like, this dude, man, listen, they got a friendship. People can't have friendships. And yes, and if you watch the Roommates podcast, you would know that they do care about who's in the front row, right? So, Suni Lee, she's definitely one of the main people that be in the front row. But here's what she said. Honestly, it just started off as a joke, and I feel like social media kind of just like took it further than that. Okay? But yeah, we're just friends. And I'm really good friends with a bunch of the guys on the Knicks, like Towns. I'm also really close to his partner, Jordan Woods. So it's cool to see them doing their thing. Honestly, I just enjoy watching basketball. Salute to that. And which is why I went to most of the games. So, hey, man, she likes watching basketball. I know how guys think. If there's a lady who watches basketball, that's kind of a green flag kind of thing. So, does OG have a crush on her? Possibly. I mean, we'll never know because he'll never admit it. But she said there's nothing there. We're just friends. I fully support all of them, and I support the Knicks. First off, salute to Suni Lee for that. I'm happy to see that she's a real Knicks fan. Sometimes the casual fans get on my nerves because they don't really know nothing about basketball, and they got these good ass seats watching the game, and it's like, yeah, like that seat could have went to a better person, right? I would put the person in the nosebleed in these seats any day, right? Because y'all don't really care about basketball, but she actually enjoys watching the game. And she's actually friends with these people. So she's not just there just to be there on some clickbait stuff, but that's just the truth with Suni Lee. There's nothing to it, right? This is her hugging Towns, right? So it's not like she's only there to see OG Anunoby. Can we knock it off with the OG Suni stuff? Hopefully this article ends that narrative. Salute to her. Salute to all the Knicks Nation, right? That be in the building, representing the Knicks, especially the ones that travel with the team. Y'all are the real champions. Right? So that's all, man. I'm going to talk about a couple of free agency things. Landry Shamet. Right? Do we bring back Landry Shamet? Here's a question, right? If there's a choice between Kevin McCullough Jr. and Landry Shamet, who do you choose? If there's a choice between Landry Shamet and Kevin McCullough Jr., and here's what the choice would be. You want to sign Kevin McCullough to the 2-way, but he actually gets a team that wants to sign him to the veteran minimum. You can't get Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, or some of these other guys, right? But Landry Shamet's there, and he wants to return. Do you, in that scenario, and I know this might sound like a no-brainer, but in that scenario, do you forego signing a real veteran and just bringing in McCullough Jr.? If it's for Shaman and McCullough Jr., I'm going to choose Kevin McCullough Jr. because he's younger. I think he has a lot of potential. He could defend. He's probably a better defender than Shaman off rip. Of course, he's not the shooter that Shaman is, but we know for sure he's a better defender, better athlete. He's taller. I'm always going to choose that. And also, Shaman is not like he's going to get a lot of time because especially if Josh Hart's going to the bench, there's not going to be no minutes for Shaman. So, yeah, I would choose Kevin McCullough Jr. And I don't really care about Bradley Beal. Okay, that's all for free agent. I'm going to jump in the flagship, y'all. So let's get into this flagship topic. See what you guys talking about. Yeah, oh, Just Knicks. Salute to Just Knicks. Timothy Chalamet. I could never remember the guy's name. Timothy Chalamet. That dude, all year, that guy was dominating the papers, right? All year, that guy was dominating the papers. Hold on, let me start it. Let's see who else is in the building. Yeah, Size Now said McCullough with ease. I think so. Darlene says, I think the roommate said what they were supposed to say without revealing. Of course, Darlene. They listen, politically correct. They got sponsors and they're under contract. You're not going to get the real. Oh, I'm going to give you the real. No one under contract for no professional sports team is giving you the real. It's all just a PR show because the bottom line is business. This is business. This is not personal. Even the podcast, right? They say the podcast be like 3 hours. They be recording for 3 hours, but they only get an hour because they editing all the crazy stuff out. Keith says, I haven't been up late just for basketball in a long time. Great show. Oh, thank you, Keith. I appreciate you, man. That's why I do the call-up show. That's why all these shows are powerful because we don't got no Knick games. So we do shows and you know, because there's always going to be stuff to talk about, and it kind of fills in that gap for the games, you know? Size 9, you got to relax, brother. We are not in the hole. All right. Not yet, at least. We'll see what happens at the end of this season. So I want to talk about the critical moves the Knicks have to do. So the first move is they got to sign at least 2 more players. So according to my clock right now, right? Or my news, I'm sorry, not my clock, but my news. Let me get out of here because my chat's working good. According to my news, let's see. Yeah, the Knicks ain't do nothing. So we still have to sign 2 more players, y'all. Right? And the Knicks currently have 12 players on guaranteed deals. Brunson, Towns, Bridges, Hart, the whole crew. And honestly, I close it out, but I could show you better than I could tell you. Let's pull up the table right now. So these are the guys that's under contract, the 12 guys. Right? So we got to sign 2 more guys. We talked about Shamet, right? That other guy, I'm just going to highlight his name. I'm not going to read it out. But this guy right here, yeah, I'm not going to read it out. So that's one of the things they got to do. They have to do it. There's no way they could get by it. Now, what they could do is they could delay it because I think the NBA gives you about 30 to 60 days of operating your team with just 12 players. So I'm not sure if he's going to do that, decide to save money. Maybe you sign McCullough Jr. Here could be the play, right? You sign Kevin McCullough Jr. to the minimum, right? Which would be the 1-year vet minimum. And then you wait 60 days and then you try to get in another younger guy to sign, right? Or you just upgrade one of your 2 ways. There's ways that Leon Rose could do it, but at some point you're going to have 14 players. The number 2 thing is lock in Kevin McCullough Jr. This is a critical step for me. I think that he's the most important summer league young guy acquisition that we have to make. You cannot let this kid walk. I mean, this kid 6'8", great size, hustles, defends, can shoot, can make plays. he might get a spot in the rotation out of anybody else. I think Kolick and Ariel plays with injuries. I think Kevin McCullough Jr. can play in the rotation. Not to say he's going to knock anybody out. We know Mike Brown going with 10 guys. So if you look at the 10 guys we got, you got Towns, OG, Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Mitch, Yabu Sally, Deuce, Clarkson. That's 9 guys. So those 9 guys, I think, get more time over anyone. Pacome Dadier is there at 6'8", but I can see a world where Kevin McCullough Jr. gets that 10th spot in the rotation very easily. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he was able to get that. Of course, you got to secure him. I mean, he is a restricted free agent, so the Knicks definitely can. It's just about sacrificing getting that other Chris Paul, getting that other veteran. More than likely, if you do this, you lose out on those guys. That's the number 2 critical thing, right? The third thing is decide on the extensions. So deciding on the extensions for Bridges and Mitch is not necessarily signing them. It's, okay, we're not going to sign them, right? Right? But don't let it be like we're in negotiation forever. I think you need a direction with these guys. We also know, and I was the first one talking about this, I said that Mikal Bridges, right? He was eligible for the 4-year 156, but they're possibly delaying it because of Giannis. And we talked about this last week. Giannis is kind of holding everybody hostage right now because he hasn't really sealed the door on being traded. If Giannis makes himself available for trade, there's going to be a whole line of teams trying to get him, including the New York Knicks. So we talked about this last week. The quagmire with Mikal is if he signs the extension after August 5th, he cannot be traded this season. And you better believe that Mikal Bridges would more than likely be a trade piece in a Giannis Antetokounmpo deal. Same thing possibly with Mitchell Robinson. Same exact scenario. So they got to make a decision on what to do with these guys, whether you're trading them or whether you're signing them and keeping them. But either way, and this will be a sneak peek into my second apron show, just so I could show y'all. So this is the Knicks in 2027. We'll have 8 players under contract, and we'll only have $49 million in second apron space, meaning that in order for us to avoid the second apron, we would have to sign how many guys? 6 guys. 6 guys under the second apron space. And let's say you just say you want to just, salary dump the way Boston did. You won't have Mitchell Robinson and you won't have Mikal Bridges. How well do you feel about a team that's featuring Towns, OG, and Brunson, Hart, and your bench would be, or your other core guys would be Yabusele, Miles McBride, because now you're trying to avoid second aprons. So even if you trade Mikal or Mitchell Robinson, you're going to bring guys of value back. At least I hope. I hope you're not just giving away Mikal Bridges for nothing. So no matter what you do with those guys, you still have $49 million to sign 6 players to avoid the apron. No worries. I will do a deep dive on this on another show. Okay? Get back to here. So no matter what they do. So like when Daily Knicks is talking about, oh yeah, if you sign these guys, this has second apron implications. The second apron implications are already there. Jalen Brunson's sacrifice was for this season, not next season. Because the Knicks have to make a choice. Will we be cooked like Boston or will we be a champion? Because those two things, those two dynamics will impact the decision that the front office makes for next season. But Jalen Brunson's discount is for this year. Because if he didn't take the discount, he would be making at least $20 million more, which would put us be up above the second apron. Right? Meaning we couldn't got Yabusele for the contract we got him for. So a lot to consider with Brunson, but it ends this year. Next year, he doesn't help us save money. Okay. Next year, he doesn't have, even though his salary appears to be descending in value, which once again, Brock Aller, I want to give a big time salute to Brock Aller. Fantastic. I love the way the deal was set up. Oh, no, it's increasing in value. It's increasing. Because normally how he does it, let me see if I can show, I can't show you. How he does it is it's in descending order. Right? Meaning that it starts high and then drops with value. But yeah, Brunson's going to get paid. Brunson's going to get paid. But I'm just trying to show you that the sacrifice to help us with the apron was this year, not next year. Next year, we're going to be in the apron regardless. Okay? But that's a whole nother show. Number 4, I think the number 4 critical thing, which kind of conflicts with number 2, because number 2, which is Lockett McCullough Jr., you might have to give him the 1-year minimum. That would interfere with signing another quality veteran. But real quickly, I want to look at some of the guys that's still available. Give me 2 seconds to pull this up, because there are some guys that are pretty interesting. Veterans that are interesting. Let me just see if I can find it. Our free agents list. And no, it's not that guy, 6'10" guy that played with Brooklyn. You don't have to sign him. But these are the unrestricted free agents, okay, that you could sign. I don't think we need no centers, so I'm not going to look at no centers. Power forwards. I thought Trey Lyles was signed. Trey Lyles, was he signed? I think Trey Lyles was signed. Let me just double check that. Oh, no, Trey Lyles is still a free agent. But Trey Lyles is available. I thought he was signed. I might have him mixed up with somebody else. Okay. Trey Lyles is interesting. He's definitely interesting. I know we got Yabusele. I know you got OG, more than likely, who probably still be a power forward. I don't know if he will be. But just to give you some added depth, this kid Boucher, hey, Chris Boucher, I go get this guy. He was shooting like 30-something% from 3. Let's pull him up. So when I'm saying get a quality veteran, this is what I'm talking about. This kid right here, who I don't know what happened in Toronto. They just wasn't messing with this kid. I don't know if because maybe they're going in a different direction. But this guy was sitting on the bench in Toronto. And not because he was hurt, even though I think he did have some injuries, but he played 50 games. They sat him a lot of he was putting in work. Look, he was averaging 10 points a game, right? He's shooting just under 37% from 3, almost 50% from the field, 63% from 2-point shots. He could defend. He's 6'9". This is the type of guy you need. So this is a guy I would want to get. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a guy I would like to get. So Chris Boucher's there. Trey Lyles. I'm staying away from Bol, but Precious Achiuwa, he bought a house in Miami. Will he go to the Heat? I don't know. Let's keep it moving. So these are the small forwards. Of course, Marchon Beauchamp is here. Definitely not a guy who I would give a contract to. If anything, I would just give him a 2-way. Small forwards to me are not that impressive. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not feeling none of the small forwards that's on this list, y'all. Keeping it real. I think Cody Martin was signed, though. Was Cody Martin signed? Pretty sure he was. Let's see. He's not. Cody Martin was not signed. How you guys feel about Cody Martin? I'm not a big Cody Martin guy, though. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not a big Cody Martin guy. I'm not. Torrey Craig is interesting. Kind of old, though. Now, the 2 guards, this is something that I think that we need. I think we really need a 2 guard. Malik Beasley's under investigation. That's a negative. Alec Burks. Hey, how you guys feel about bringing Alec Burks back? He actually had a good playoff run with us 2 years ago. Gary Payton's too short. I think Melton was signed. I think he was intending to go to. No, the Warriors ain't signed him yet, but I think Melton's going to the Warriors for sure. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. If I can't get nobody and I convince Kevin McCullough to take a two-way deal, I might get Burks, man. I might get Burks. I might get Burks a shot. You know he's willing to sit on the bench. Because he's definitely good. More than likely, whatever veteran we get, they'll be sitting on the bench. Point guards, we don't need a point guard. I'm not even going to look at the point guards. But just to see, there might be some two guards here. Of course, you got Chris Paul. You got Russell Westbrook. The other guy, the B guy. I don't mention his name. I'm not feeling none of these point guards, y'all. Shake Milton was just waived by, I think the Lakers just waived Shake Milton. And on the restricted side is nothing really there. Let's see. But these are some of the free agents. What do you guys think? I'll look in the chat in a second. So I want to get a quality veteran. And the guy I like is Chris Boucher. Okay, Chris Boucher is the guy I want. And of course, the Knicks have to get assistant coaches. We need a real assistant coach. I don't know who that would be, y'all. Now, we talked about Mark Jackson. Salute to everybody that watched the little clip I dropped on Mark Jackson. Go watch that video. I included some of the sound bites that I didn't include from last week's podcast, but I dropped that yesterday. Mark Jackson is a guy who he's available, man. The way it's looking right now, you don't got no options. What is Mike Woodson doing? Is Mike Woodson available? Let's see if we get some Mike Woodson news. I wouldn't mind bringing Mike Woodson as the assistant, man. Let's see where he's at. Let's see where this brother is in life. Here's how much Mike Woodson is being paid to not coach. So he's definitely not in Indiana. Oh, he signed with the Kings. I forgot about that. Damn, Mike Woodson signed with the Kings. All right, let's back out of that. No Mike Woodson's coming. I don't know. I don't know who they bring in to be the assistant coach. They already demoted Rick Brunson. Do you think they should have waited? Maybe they should have waited to demote Rick Brunson before, they went on the coaching search. So that way, you might could just have Rick Brunson just be the lead assistant. Because if you can't find nobody, it is what it is. But I don't know who you guys want for the assistant coach. But these are the 5 things that Knicks have to do, right? Now, they don't have to sign another quality veteran, but they got to sign 2 more players. So it's really 4 things. But I think signing a veteran is crucial. I think it's crucial. I think you want to maximize your depth. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. Salute to everybody in the chat. Jabroni says McCullough 6'6". Is Kevin McCullough 6'6"? Hold on. I could pull it up. Kevin McCullough, they saying he's 6'6". I thought he was 6'8". But, like the heights. Hold on, let me back out. Let me see. Damn, I can't copy it? All right. I just got to spell it. I want to get to the bottom of his height because I've seen 6'8", but he could be 6'6", but we gonna let this decide. Hold on. Kevin. Color. Here we go. Man. Oh, 6'6". He's 6'6". Why am I thinking he's 6'8"? All right. Well, 6'6" is cool. All right. I take 6'6". Still a good size. Salute the Knicks will be chance 25-26. I do appreciate you. If you just joined, this is episode 7 of the 2025 off season. We talked about all the hot topics between the 14th and the 20th. We are looking at thisweekinside the Knicks.com, clicking on the episode 7 blog posts and all the stuff that I'm talking about is down here, so you can't miss it. Okay. So I think we're gonna jump into word on the street. No, I'm gonna do comment of the week. So last year I had an interesting comment. Last week I had an interesting comment of the week that I didn't get a chance to cover. So I'm gonna cover that now. So salute to FS Wisdom, right? One of my prolific on point channel members. He always keeps me sharp, right? And so here's what he posted. Yabusele is the only option. This is about starting, right? Josh Hart going to the bench. Clarkson and Deuce McBride are too small, and Mitch scores less than Hart. It would defeat the purpose of moving Hart to the bench. Yabusele gives us size and opportunity to play 5 out. This led to a whole debate, okay? This led to a whole debate. You know, this guy here, Chi, said it had to be Mitch. You need a double big lineup. I don't know why. Where do you guys get the impression that we need a double big lineup? Where are you guys getting that impression? I don't know who's telling y'all that. We don't have to start a double big lineup. If we start the double big lineup, fine, right? But we don't have to start the double big lineup. We hadn't seen enough of the double big lineup to really know how effective it will be. Now it's a new system. So you can't even use the productivity that we seen from last year because this is a whole new, brand new system, right? Under Mike Brown. So I don't know where he's getting that from. But I agree with FS Wisdom because if you take Hart out of the lineup, you lose playmaking and rebounding. He was making plays for others. Josh Hart was averaging 6 assists a game. So now, Mitchell Robinson, you put him in the lineup, you're losing out on that 6 assists. Josh Hart gets just as much rebounds as Mitchell Robinson. You want to pull it up? Let's pull it up. Pull it up. Why not? Why not? Josh Hart, so you want to start double big lineup, right? Okay. On the rebounding side of the ball, I'm not going to do regular season because that won't be fair. I'm going to do playoffs. So Mitchell Robinson started the 4 games. Mitchell Robinson's giving you 7 rebounds. Josh Hart's giving you 8.8 rebounds. So you get the rebounds with Hart. So you get the rebounds with Hart, right? And you get the 6 assists with Hart. Even though he didn't average it in the playoffs, during the regular season, he was getting you 6 assists. Even if you look at the 4.4 assists, you're losing that with Mitch. I just feel like, yes, you get better defensively, but your offense suffers tremendously. Bars. Yes, right? You get better defensively, but your offense suffers tremendously, right? So that's why I'm not a fan of Mitchell Robinson in the starting line. I don't think defense is that important to sacrifice what we're trying to do on the offensive end. Okay? Now, to go back to what the brother was saying, FS Wisdom, Yabusele, right? Definitely, if the issue is Towns' defense and side, I'm not saying Yabusele is a defensive stopper, but on the offensive end, he still gives Towns the spacing, while on the defensive end, he's good against bigs, inside bigs, because he got the body to bang with them. Pause. But on the inside, he's solid. Like it's hard to move Yabusele. Now, on the perimeter, he's going to get cooked. But on the perimeter, Mitchell Robinson and Towns will get cooked. So it doesn't help that fact. So I kind of agree with what FS Wisdom is saying. But where I disagree with FS Wisdom is if I'm making a change, I'm gonna keep it real. I can live with a playmaking 2 guard that can guard point guards. I think that would greatly enhance the starting lineup. That's my opinion, right? But this J-Type got involved. This was a highly contested back and forth. FS Wisdom said, then blow up the team because this is not what it is. Double big lineup is not going to provide what you're looking for. Yep, and you get exposed in the playoffs. I agree. And also remember, talking about the playoffs, Hacker Mitch comes into play during the playoffs. Maybe not in the regular season. Got exposed in the playoffs and his inability to make adjustments. He's talking about Tibbs. FS Wisdom said 100% agree. I said it's all about the matchups in the Pacers series. That lineup did not work. Facts. Yabu Sali, I thought would have did a better job on the inside with Siakam, but on the perimeter, he's not guarding Siakam. He's not. I thought Precious Achiuwa would have been the perfect guy for that, but that's a whole nother topic. All right, so yeah, so this is just some of the comment of the week from last week. Then it got a little dicey up in here. Yabu can't play defense, so what good is he in the starting lineup? And I love the counter by FS Wisdom. Mitch can't score. That's why Hart is being moved to the bench. If we're moving Hart for lack of scoring, just to replace him with someone who scores even less, what would be the logic in that? Facts. Your offense will suffer with Mitch. But let's see what Mike Brown does. But J-Tap is saying, salute to J-Tap. But J-Tap's saying that you got to play defense. I get that part. I think the defense would be better than last year's lineup with Hart if you get a 2-guard that can guard point guards like a Nembhard or Derek White. Like if we made the Derek White trade, now you got a real 2-guard with OG and Yabu Sali. I mean, I don't know who at that point. I think Yabu Sali would probably be the best. I think he's better than Mitch to start. Not that he's better than Mitch. I'm saying to play with Towns. I think Yabu Sali is better because now you have OG, you have Derek White to really defend with the antics on the perimeter. And then you got Yabu Sali, who's solid on the interior, right? On one-on-one defense. Not that you got too many, Julius Randles out there, but interesting conversation. Just my thoughts on the comment of the week, though. So that's the comment of the week. It's a long thread. You can check it out. It's on the blog if you like. Let me get about it. I'm gonna go to Word on the Street. See what you guys talking about in the chat. I know I said a lot. Let me see. Read a couple of chats. Yabu Sali plays small ball at the 5. I think he can handle it for small spurts against other teams. Okay. Keith says, yo, speaking of Mitch, did you see him practicing his free throws? He's starting to use a little arch now. Still look like he was hitting around 50%, but it's a start. Keith, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not sure if you watched my basketball videos, but like a lot of my drills got cut out in the last live. A lot of the stuff I'll be working on, I never use in the game. So more than likely, Mitchell Robinson probably won't do it. HR the Great says, you want Anthony Black? Was he on the list? Hold on. Anthony Black. That's the 2-guard, right? He plays the 2 or the 1? I don't see him on the list. You trying to trade for Anthony Black? I don't think he's a free agent. No, but I didn't see those highlights of Mitch, though. Nick Shack said Mitch shot free throws last year at 64% and losing 1 point a game at free throw line, but gives us 6 extra possessions. By how many points? No, but Nick Shack, you missing it. Hold on. And where you? Hold on. Whoa. Let's slow that down, Nick Shack. Salute to you, by the way, Nick Shack. So you said Mitchell Robinson shot what last year for the free throw line? Because in the playoffs, right, where it mattered, he shot. Your boy Mitchell Robinson shot 39%. He was getting 3 attempts a game. So I'm going to go to the regular season now. Let's look at the attempts a game that Mitchell Robinson got in the regular season. So he only got 1 free throw attempt. You can't look at that. Nick Shack, 17 games, 1 free throw attempt. I'm not valuing that free throw percentage. He only got one attempt. You start him, he's going to get more minutes, more time. Just like in the postseason, he got up 3 attempts and shot 39%. One free throw a game is not a good sample size. As far as possessions, Josh Hart gets you those same possessions if you're talking about rebounds. Because Josh Hart gets more rebounds than Mitchell Robinson. I'm not sure if y'all guys realize that. Josh Hart was giving us 9 rebounds a game. I'm trying to think, did Mitchell Robinson ever give us 9 rebounds for a season? Hold on, let's pull that up. Okay, he did this one year. Okay, yeah, this was 2023. This was actually, I think this was probably one of Mitch's best years. But Josh Hart gave us a clear 9 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson only did that 1 year. To be real, I'm only keeping it real. I love Mitch, but Josh Hart is also giving us possessions, and Josh Hart gives you 6 assists on top of that. So now those 6 assists are guaranteed buckets. Your offense suffers, Nick Shack. So when you say more possessions to do what? Oh, you saying that you want to trade for Anthony Black to start him? I'll look into that real quickly. Let's pull him up. He's on a rookie contract, $7 million. They are first apron team, so we got to match salary. So he's getting paid around 7, right? So hold on. Voice chat got frozen. Let's go to the right year. So you got to trade $7 million in salary. You don't got that. You don't got that. Unless you're willing to give up Mitchell Robinson and try to get 2 for 1. You don't got the $7 million in salary to do the deal unless you want to give up Yabu Sali, which you can anyway. You don't got the salary. I mean, you could do Deuce McBride and Dottier. You willing to do Deuce McBride and Dottier for Anthony Black? No, I'm good. Josh Hart plays more minutes than Mitch. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, no, but see, look, this is what I'm saying. This is why I went back. Okay, look, this is why I went to the years where he actually started. Look, he started 58 games. Is it his fault? Is it Josh Hart's fault that Mitchell Robinson can't stay on the floor longer than 27 minutes? That's not Josh Hart's fault. I'm telling you that as a starter, Josh Hart was giving you 9 rebounds a game. Mitch Robinson only gave you 9 rebounds one time. Whose fault is that? That's not my fault. That's not Josh Hart's fault. Last year, he averaged 5.9 rebounds. Just saying, man. Josh Hart as a starter gives you more rebounds. Is it because he plays more minutes? Fine. Okay. Whose fault is that? Let's see. Deuce, you're giving up Deuce and Kolek for, nah, you wildin'. I'm not doing that. Size 9, that's actually a good point. Mitch can't start nor finish the break after a rebound. All right, cool. Let me jump into the word on the street, y'all. So before I get there, I want to show you guys about joining the channel. Salute to all of the members that's live in the chat. HRM the Great, right? Keith Watkins in the building. Knicks will be chance 25, 26. Salute to all the channel members watching the show, watching the replay. I do appreciate you guys. Real quickly, I do want to talk to you guys about joining the channel. Today, I'm going to talk to you about our Starter Knicks fan package, right? Everybody who joins the channel gets access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, where we have a 24/7 Knicks chat, 24/7 NBA chat. We talk about all sports 24/7. I didn't get a chance to talk about boxing this weekend. We talk about boxing. I mean, everything, right? This is a great way to extend the conversation with me. If you fill in the YouTube videos, we get it in on the Discord server. I'm there. A lot of the guys you see in the building, HRM, Knicks will be champs, right? Yuri, J-Tap, we all up in there. And, it's a good server. It's not a free-for-all server where everyone's welcome because there's a lot of trolls. A lot of, I'm not trying to deal with that. So I only deal with the people that support me. And once again, it's a great way to extend the conversation with me. That's one of the perks you get for joining the channel. It's not the only perk that you get, right? Of course, channel members across the board get these cool stars. That's how I know who you are, right? And salute to everybody who has their stars on full display in the chat. Of course, I do members only live chats. So this next show, when I do the second Apron show, more than likely it'll be a members only live stream. No, I'm sorry, members only live chat. So everyone could watch, but only members could chat. Because when I'm building, I'm doing shows like that, especially when I do my 10 key show. I don't want too much distraction because I could get lost in the chat. So I put it on the members only mode so the members can still contribute, still get a chat feel, but let me cook. Also, members get, I also do members only live streams as well. Like I'm doing tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm doing the Objective Fan Hoops. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I will be hooping. So for all the members, be on the lookout for that. Another thing too, priority reply comments, whether it's in this chat, whether it's in a survey or poll discussion that you see in the YouTube community section that we're getting ready to look into. Anytime I see a channel member post something there, I'm always responding to members' priority reply. I get a lot of comments. I'm talking a lot of Knicks across multiple platforms, not just on YouTube, right? Facebook. I'm trying to get back on X. That's going to be my mission this summer, to get back on X. But TikTok, I mean, it's just too much. It's a lot. A little bit of Instagram. So anytime I see my members drop a comment, I make sure I get them back. But I'm having discussions every day, all day, about the Knicks, okay? Photos and status updates. I got this thing called the Unfiltered Thoughts series. But I did a 2-for-1. I dropped 2 videos. Let me show you guys what I did really quickly. So these are the last 2 videos I did. Well, no, actually, this is the last one I did. This was after the 2-for-1. I don't like to say it, but I told you so. Hashtag Isaiah Hartenstein, right? And then this was the 2-for-1. Charles Oakley, I hear you, but, and Julius Randle, that's all you wanted. So anytime you see the Unfiltered Thought, these are members only content. I usually record it at 3 a.m. I'm always thriving late night, and it's a beautiful time. So, members get access to that content, where it's kind of like, it's content that's kind of like not really suitable for YouTube, so to speak. And it's just like, my real raw unfiltered thoughts. Sometimes I speculate, sometimes, I drop sources, but it's good content. It's good content. The Charles Oakley video, people was like, definitely, it was an eye opener. But anyway, so that's what you get with that. Of course, members get shouted out all the time. Salute to all the channel members. And members also get discounts on merch. So some of the merch I showed you earlier, when you go to shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com, you just open up the browser. When you go here, right? Bam, you go to shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com, shop.theobjectiveknicksfan. Don't matter, it takes you to the same website. You get the merch, and members, like I say, get a discount on all the merch, including the mugs, okay? So that's what you get when you join the channel, man. Hopefully you guys support and join. I do appreciate to all my members that currently are still rocking with me. I'm gonna do some word on the street now, y'all. Now, I don't think I did it last week, but I didn't drop a lot of content last week, to be honest. Right? So I'm just gonna touch on these right here. Okay, cool. So considering the Knicks need a new lead assistant coach, should they consider Mark Jackson for the position? I'm gonna say yes. There's nothing wrong with considering him. That doesn't mean he's gonna get the job. But 77% of the 397 votes said yes, Mark Jackson should receive consideration, especially if you ain't got no other choices right now. I don't understand it. Now, if he turns it down and says no, that's fine. But I think that you should at least reach out to him just to see if he'd be interested, right? More than likely, he probably won't even want to do it at this point. Which one of the free agents should the Knicks sign to a veteran minimum deal? Smart is gone. Bill is gone. I don't want Russell Westbrook. I'm going to say I want Chris Boucher. But 55% of Knicks fans wanted the 428 votes at the time. This was before Marcus Smart was signed. They said that they wanted Marcus Smart. Let's keep it moving. Now here's the quagmire that I was breaking down earlier in the show, right? This is what this poll question kind of asked you guys to see what you guys would do. Should the Knicks consider signing Kevin McCullough Jr. to a minimum contract? Remember, signing him would eliminate the possibility of signing another veteran such as Marcus Smart. 365 votes. I'm going to say, I don't know. It's a tough decision for me because there's some guys like a Chris Boucher. I would love to add that depth to our roster. I think that he would be a perfect addition. Of course, I don't think the Knicks will do it, but he's somebody that can play. 36% from three, averaging 10 points a game, hustler, play a little defense. So that's why I don't want to lose McCullough, but at the same time, I still want to get that quality veteran. Who had the best summer league performance for the Knicks, excluding last year's rookie? I dropped this poll this morning. I'm going to keep it real, y'all. I was most impressed with Diawara. Out of 157 votes, 26% say Diawara, 35% say Beauchamp, 38% says Think Pate. The reason why I say Diawara is because a lot of the things I was saying earlier, he stood out the most to me. A guy off the rebound, right? That could take the ball up the court, make plays for others in transition at 6'10". That to me stood out the most. And he stood out every game. I wouldn't say he shot well every game. I tell you what, Diawara didn't have a bad game to me. These other guys had bad games. Diawara didn't have a bad game, right? The first game, he had 7 rebounds. I'm like, damn, talk about setting the tone, especially when this is why it's good to be able to do multiple things, because if the shot is not falling, you get to show diversity and that'll help you stand out. So all of these surveys can be found in the community section under post. All you got to do is go there and you can still vote on these if you hadn't voted on them already. Okay. Well, let's keep it moving. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat as we get ready to wrap. Talking about Julius Randle trade. What? Perfect storm. Okay, cool. Let me see what Buzzer. Salute to you, Buzzer Beater. Hartenstein and Porzingis left the Knicks and won championships before the Knicks did. Well, I mean, Buzzer Beater, that's not really our fault. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to leave, right? So it's not like we traded them away. Both of those guys wanted to leave. Well, we traded away Porzingis because he wanted to leave, and Hartenstein left. There was nothing we could do about that. Let me see. Luke Walker Vision says we should have never signed Clarkson. I mean, Clarkson doesn't prevent you from signing a defender. We could still sign another veteran. Clarkson did not prevent you from doing that. This is what this is all about. I still got it here. See this 3.7? Clarkson didn't prevent that. Clarkson's cap hit is 2.2. You still got the 2.2 here. You still got that. You got 2.2 to sign another guy. Clarkson did not stop the Knicks' ability from signing anyone else, for the record. Right? So you can go get a Chris Boucher or whatever defender you want that's willing to sign a veteran minimum. Size 9 says Huck Porty showed nothing. Huck Porty was not there to show anything. Huck Porty, in my opinion, shouldn't even played, to be honest, if you ask me. Okay. Laptop almost died. Good thing I caught that. So hopefully, Lou Walker, that makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? After All-Star break, we went from 24th in defense to 14th. Why? Yeah, but Nick Shack, what happened to our offense? See, people like to look at things from one side, right? I'm glad he went there. We're going to pull it up. People look at things from one side, right? Mitchell Robinson came back and look, the defense improved. But do realize that Mitchell Robinson only started, 4 games? I'm sorry. Mitchell Robinson only started 3 games. So the defense improved with him coming off the bench. Thus, he doesn't have to start. That's one point, okay? Second point. So, Yes, you're right. He's right. The defense improved after the All-Star break. Let's pull up all the stats, right? We're going to do teams, okay? And we're going to do advance, okay? And we're going to do defensive rating, right? We're going to segment it, right? We're going to do it like this. I'm kind of like, ain't it funny to those of y'all who've been watching me for a while now? I seem like I'm the guru on NBA.com now. It's crazy. When I first came on here, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. All right. Now I kind of know it because I kind of did it like that. Hold on. Why? No, regular season. All right, cool. So look, this is pre-All-Star break, right? Pre-All-Star break. Knicks defensive rating, 18th. See that? Pre-All-Star break. Knicks defensive rating, 18th. Right? Okay, cool. So we're going to do post-All-Star break. So this is the Knicks defense post-All-Star break. So we went from 19th to 11th. Defense got better, but like Nick Shack doesn't realize, he thinks that Mitch had to start for it. No, it didn't. He didn't have to start. Mitch came off the bench and the defense improved, for the record. Now, what I want to show you guys is now we're going to look at, I'm going to start pre. Now we're going to look at the offense. So the Knicks had the second rating offense pre-All-Star break. The number 2 offense in basketball. I know this because I do a show called Knicks in 10, where every 10 games we break down stats, position, and seeing where stuff goes, right? That's my favorite show, right? You guys don't really care for it as much, but I don't really do it for the views. I do it because I like to do it. And to all the hardcore people, they like to watch it. So that's why I do the show. So remember this. We was the number 2 offense pre-All-Star. Cool. So now we're going to go post-All-Star. What happens to our offense when we do that? So, pan. So look. So we went from number 2 all the way down to 22. So while the defense improved, right, with Mitch off the bench, our offense dropped tremendously. Now, yes, Jalen Brunson was out. He missed a lot of time. So that also hurt the offense. But even in the playoffs, with Mitchell Robinson there, the offensive rating just wasn't hitting the same like it was. I'm not blaming Mitch solely. What I'm saying is you can get the best of both worlds with Mitchell Robinson off the bench. He does not have to start for the defense to be better. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. No, but Nick Shack, so let's both factor in our points. Brunson was hurt, but Mitch came off the bench. Also, Nick Shack, he didn't start. So you got to try again with the defense. He came off the bench, for the record. The offense was hurt once they stop guarding Josh Hart and let him shoot. No. Nope. It was way more than that. It was turnovers. It was not getting the assists. It was ball movement. It was a whole lot of factors. Injuries. It was a lot. Post All-Star break. Well, Size 9, you need to join the channel, man, because I did a video on Isaiah Hartenstein, and I'm just going to say it like this, bro. I see a world where Hartenstein doesn't get that extension. I'm just going to say it like that. To all my channel members who watched the video, you know what I'm talking about. That's why I said, I told you so. You can't play Mitch no time. I'm sorry. That's wrong. Did I say that? I meant to say you can't start. Mitch should never start. You play him off the bench. And if teams are hacker Mitching, you might have to play him at the beginning of quarters, second and fourth quarters. Wow, no, HRM, we can't sign Beasley because he's under investigation, man. And it's looking like he's guilty. I can't say he's guilty. Allegedly, it's not looking good for Beasley. If it was looking good for Beasley, he was slated to get the $16 million. Salute the Wacko in Brooklyn, man. Good to see you, my brother. Definitely Wacko in Brooklyn, one of the first channel mods. As long as Cat's trash defense is on the court, Mitch got to be there to save him. Why does Mitch have to be there to save him? Why can't we just put somebody else there? Because the offense is greatly diminished with Mitch out there. It's a fact. But listen, guys, I want to give a big time salute to all you guys for rocking with me, man. This was This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 7 of the 2025 offseason. We covered a lot. If you just joined, these are some of the topics we hit. I do want to give a big time salute to all of the channel members and to all the subscribers. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. If you're a subscriber, consider joining the channel. Stephen Fye says, do I think Mitch gets extended? It depends, man, because, you know, I really think the Knicks really think they could get Giannis. And I think Mitchell Robinson and Mikal Bridges will be one of the key pieces, core pieces to a Giannis trade. So that's kind of been the difficulty in signing those guys, because once you sign them, you have to wait 6 months to trade them. Okay, that's NBA rules. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, once you extend them, once they become extended. But definitely, like Wacko in Brooklyn says, definitely subscribe. I want to give a time salute to Wacko in Brooklyn, one of the first mods. Big time salute to Crim's dad, right? Nick Jack, until it happens, they'll never agree with you, so don't waste your breath. Listen, if it happens, it happens. I'm just telling you why, in my opinion, I don't think the double big lineup is smart. And we want to play fast. That's counterproductive. That's counterintuitive. How you gonna play fast with Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup with Towns? You don't play fast. Okay, big time salutes to you though. Still, Nick Jack, big time. Even though we disagree, big time salutes to Nick Jack. Big time salute to Anna Grill, right? Loyal's brother. Let's see. Stevens Fox, big time salute to you. Big time salute to, who else was in the building? Darlene Bryant, buzzer beater, right? Big time salute to Keith Watkins from the ATL, Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, channel member. Salute to you, man. Salute to HR and the Great, Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, channel member. I do appreciate you. Lucky Vision, salute to you as well. Salute to Jabroni. Man, salute to everybody that was in the chat. I think Coach was in the chat as well, one of the first channel members and first channel mods, right? And Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. I do appreciate you all. That's all I got for you. I will be back tomorrow, channel members. The Objective Fan Hoops returns, 1 o'clock. I'm going to try to sneak in probably on Wednesday after midnight show. We'll see. I'll probably do the aprons on Wednesday night. Be on the lookout for that. No call-up show on Thursday. Call-up show will be on Friday, 10:45 p.m. Be on the lookout for that. Also, clips in between. Go watch the Kenyon Martin. I kind of gave the smoke to Kenyon Martin. Go watch that little clip. I added some of the original clips to it. But that's all I got for you guys, man. And until next time, you guys know the deal. It's always, let's go Knicks.